Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a drone by ODDITY RC, and that's a XL25 Pro. So it's a 2.5 inch Cinewhoop. Now, as you know, I've got loads of Cinewhoops. I think I've got about 12 now, and they range from 1.6 inch, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 inch. You've obviously seen those reviews. So 2.5 inch to me is kind of in the sweet spot. It's a great drone for both indoor and outdoor. And in one of my recent reviews, I just reached out to say, what drones are you guys using? And a few people said, try this one. They said it's a cracker, and I've never used it before. So I reached out to ODDITY RC, and they were kind enough to send me one of these drones for review. So thank you for that. Now, no money's exchanged hands, all thoughts of my own. They've not even asked for a video, but I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on this, and I thought we'll take a look at it. So what we'll do in this video, we'll do a little bit of an unboxing very, very quickly. I've already put the drone together, and then more importantly, we'll get it out and fly it and see how it compares to the other drones as well. Okay, so we've got the box here, so let's have a little look what you get. Now, I just will say, this drone isn't new. It's been around a while. They had the original XL25. I think that was on the DJI O3, and then they brought out the Pro. So it has been out a while, but as I say, I've never had one before. I never used them. So what we'll do, well, let's just grab everything out of the box to show you what we get very, very quickly. We'll select the star of the show to one side for now. So we've got loads of parts in there. Now, one thing I can see, which is great to see, 2 sets of props, and these are HQ props DT63, very common for this size whoop, but 2 spare sets and a spare on the drone. Lovely. We've got loads of little spare screws and pieces in here. We've got lots of bags of screws. We've got spare pads for the battery, spare standoffs, and again, more screws in there. And this is a little USB extension board. Some drones, you struggle to get the USB connection in the bottom, so this is just a little extension to make that easier. We also have a spare frame. Now, this frame feels really solid. It's injection molded. You know, you can hardly move that at all. Feels really, really nice, but you have got a spare one. Again, not everyone does this. Hopefully we won't be breaking them, but yeah, feels really solid. And we've got some stickers as well. 2 sets of stickers. We'll be sticking them on my board with the rest. Now let's get out the star of the show, and I'll take you around this. Now, what I will say is the drone I received didn't have the O4, so it was all built apart from the O4 Pro. So I've taken one out of another drone, and I've already put it in here so we can weigh it, we can see what it looks like, etc. But the version I've got here is the 4S with the XT30. And the reason I say that is you have got choices. You can choose 6S if you'd like a little bit more power, but this has got plenty of power anyway. And again, you can choose your connector from factory, which is great. If you want an XT60, they'll put that on there for you rather than the XT30, but this matches my batteries a lot better. Right, so let's take you around the drone. So this is a 2.5 inch drone, and it's pusher style props. So it means the motors are facing down, and obviously the props are facing the opposite direction. A push is usually good for cinematic. The motors on here, we've got some really beefy motors. Now, what you tend to find on these size whoops is 1404 motors, and these have gone for a little bit different. They've gone for 1405. So that's just going to offer a little bit more thrust, more power. The 14 is the diameter, the 04 and 05 is the height. So it just means they're a little bit taller, so it should give a little bit more thrust. But they are lovely looking motors. Now, the biggest thing I noticed when I got this drone, I thought, oh, they're sticking these motors at first. But if you look at the size of the magnets on these, super thick magnets. And in a minute, I'll compare them to another drone. But if you look, when I knock these round, they really, really are strong magnets. But then when we knock the prop, it spins freely. So this should have a lot of power, but these are super thick. And as we mentioned before, it's standard props on these, and these are the DT63 3-blade props, but you can run it with 4 or 5 bladed if you want. I like the 3-blade ones, that works better for me. At the front, we've obviously got the O4 Pro, and we've got this really funky, unique 3D print with the little cat ears or bat ears on there. I'm not too sure what they are. I think the cat ears. But the great thing about this is all 3D printed. So as you can see, it's all super soft. So there's going to be no jello on there, and it's just connected with 2 screws here and 1 in the middle at the back, but that is super soft. And obviously we've got our adjustability on the side there as well. So I've got it, you know, probably in the middle at the moment, but you have got quite a good range on there. And you will notice as well, it has a GoPro mount as well. And this is a full-size GoPro mount. So obviously with the power of this drone, this will carry a GoPro, but it's not meant for a full-size GoPro, but we will try it. So I'll be flying it with something like my Osmo Nano, which I think will pair perfectly with this. But if you've got like a DJI Action 2, something like that will be perfect. On the back, we've got our antennas, nicely away from the frame. They're put in there nice and solid, so that should be fine. At the back, good position for our ELRS antenna, and this actually comes with a beta FPV antenna in there, and that's 2.4 gigahertz. OddityRC are using their own flight stack on this, and this is their F7 40 amp all-in-one. No wires running over the flight controller, which is nice. And obviously we've got the frame as well. Now, they are quite proud of the design of this. It is a little bit different to what you normally see, just slightly different. And they said this should reduce some flight noise and it gives a better motor efficiency as well. So we'll see that ourselves. With the motors being quite beefy, it is going to give more thrust. So you're going to have more power. It should be able to recover from dives and things like that a lot better. But I'm imagining it will have an impact on battery life. So I'm keen to see how that handles it. Now, being a 4S version, drones of this size, you're normally looking at batteries from 650 to 850, but they recommend that battery size for 6S. For 4S, they say you can go from 850 up to 1100, which is great. So I've got loads of 650s, I think I've got an 860, a 960, and I've got 1000 as well, all slightly different brands. So we'll give them all a try just to see how that performs. But it's nice to know that it will take a slightly bigger battery. And as you can see, the way they've put the strap on, they've kind of done it toilet tank, they've gone it the opposite direction. So widthways, you should be fine having a bigger battery. And because it's got the flexible XT30 rather than hard mounting at the back, you will be able to stretch your battery leads over there. Now the pads, they're kind of rubbery pads and I'm sure they won't slide around, but they're not sticky. Not at all, not in one bit, but it should stop your battery sliding around, so it should do a job. I do normally like to see really sticky pads on there though, but we'll see how they perform. But all in all, I love how it looks. Now it does feel quite weighty, so let's just check the weight quickly. So this is with the O4 Pro, exactly as you'd fly it without the battery. There we go, 187 grams. So that is quite heavy for a 2.5-inch whoop, and that is because of those chunky motors. I'll just bring in my Cinewhoop 30 because this is a much bigger drone, as you'll see. Quite a big difference in the drone, but it's actually a similar weight. So on there, it's 193. So there's only 6 grams difference between these. So you can see it is quite a heavy boy, and I'll just be interested of whether we can get that under 250. Now the smallest battery I've got, and it doesn't recommend this small, is a 550. Now I do fly that on my Cinewhoop 30 V3 and I can get under 250 grams. So let's just see if that gets you under 241 grams. To be fair, if weight is important to you and you need to be under 250 grams, you probably don't want this drone because this battery is undersized for what they recommend. Now this is another battery I use quite a lot. This is a GMB 650. So if we put that on there, 255 grams. Again, a little bit small, but I've got loads of these batteries, so we'll see how they perform. Okay, so stepping it up to the recommended battery, we've got a Boss LiPo 850. This is another high voltage cell. And with that, we're up to 279 grams. Okay, another battery I've got, this was supplied kindly by Hobby King, and it's a Turnigy Bolt X high voltage battery. And this is, again, 4S battery and 1000. It's probably my biggest 4S cell. So let's have a look on there and see what it weighs with that. 292 grams. Right, last but not least, obviously the inside. I just thought I'd let you know we're running an Oddity RC. That's one of their own flight controllers, and it's a 40 amp all-in-one. Now what I have noticed, and it's a little bit disappointing, is there isn't a 4v5 pad. What that means is you can't power your ELRS over USB-C. I have got a couple of drones like that. I always find it a little bit frustrating. So it just means that I've already set this drone up, but I had to connect to LiPo when you connect it to Betaflight if you want to see your sticks moving. So just something to know if you're wondering why it's not working. Now I've updated this to ELRS 4.0 because that's what I'm running. It's already set up, ready to fly. The arming angle's correct. It's got arming, angle, and buzzer set up by default. Obviously, I've put some more on there as well. And it's just running default Betaflight rates, which is great to see. Right, so that's a quick run through the drone. We've got everything set up, we're ready to go. Now it's thrown it down outside, so I'm gonna wait for it to stop raining, and then we're gonna get out, we'll take some batteries, and we're gonna give it a test. But I'm interested to know what the flight times are gonna be, how smooth it is, how much power it is, and what it feels like carrying the Osmo Nano, and maybe a slightly bigger camera too. Right, let's get out and see what this can do. So the rain's held off and I've just come to the local field for the first flight, and as you can see top right we're hovering around 34, 35%, something like that. So first pump of the drone, feels good. Now as you can see in 4x3, you can see the canopy on the top left and top right hand side, but once stabilised, that goes, so that's no problem at all. And this is just going to be a little cruisy fly. I fly around here all the time, so just going to see how it performs. I probably do need a little bit of expo on that throttle just to stop a little bit of the bobbing, but it does feel good. Yeah, it's always hard coming through here. It's very hard to see these little branches, especially this time of year, and it's very wet on the floor, so we definitely don't want to drop it in that. So I'm not going to take you on this full flight. This is just a few little clips just so we can get a feel of the drone. But yeah, overall, feels quite nice so far. Try and hit that gap. Managed to clip the tree. So as we fly around now, you can see we've dropped down to 3.57 volts at 4 minutes 20. And I'm actually using the Boss LiPo 850 on this. Obviously that's a 4-cell battery. So coming to the end of this flight now, just going to do one quick power loop. Always with the Cinewhoop, you've got to be careful coming out of that so you don't induce prop wash. And you're going to see that we finish on around 5 minutes 35, and that's flying down to 3.4 volts. Headed to a new location. I'm just going to give it a good blip of throttle, 85% throttle, and you can see it really does suck on the battery. It dropped to 3.1, low battery alert, but it does recover quite quickly. So you can see these motors really do pull. And I do find with this drone, it really does want to push. It really wants to fly fast, which is nice. So I'm just going to whiz around here, just to get a feel of the drone. Now for all these flights, I'm flying with no stabilisation, and I'm using gyro flow. I usually find that's the best way to stabilise your footage, and it's obviously really nice and easy as well. I can always cover that in a future video if you need it. But yeah, just nice cruisy fly, trying to stay level. You will see a little bit of bobbing. I do need that little bit of expo, but it does feel really nice. So as much as it's good to fly fast, it's obviously important to fly smooth and accurate as well. So I'm just going to go around these trees, again trying to be precise, and I'm showing you the raw footage so you can see that little bit of wobble, but obviously once it's stabilised, that totally goes. And we're 2 minutes in and we're at 3.72 volts so far. Just spotted this car leaving, so we're going to follow it. It's always good to practice following things, whether it's a car, bike, people, always good practice. So we'll just follow this down here. And then what we're going to do is slow it right down again, and let's just get around these trees just to see if we can be accurate, and we can. Now I have got quite a high camera angle on this, but again, still no problem, slowing it down and trying to be precise, just coming round some of the trees. So we're going to be coming to the end of this battery now. Let's come in for a landing, and you'll see it's going to be around 5 minutes 30 again, flying a little bit lower, but it does recover to 3.5 volts. So now this is a few days later, you can see the weather's much better. We've got the stick cam on, and I'm flying with the DJI Osmo Nano mounted on top. Running in between 35 and 40% throttle, you can see on the top right, and we're just going to see how it feels. Now, I'm not going to lie, you can feel a weight. Obviously the Osmo Nano is not the lightest camera. A naked GoPro is probably better. However, yes, it can handle it. Now the onboard O4 is obviously beautiful footage, but maybe if you wanted a vertical shot, you could mount this vertically, or maybe you want to film at a different frame rate. This is actually filmed at 30 frames a second because the Osmo Nano doesn't support 60. Now I would never fly the O4 Pro at 30, it's too jittery, so carrying a camera like this does definitely have its advantages at times. So I'm not going to take you on this full flight, but I had to come out in this beautiful weather. So again, I'm just going to be cruising round just to see how it feels. Yeah, nothing too aggressive, nice and smooth. Obviously it has got quite a heavy camera. It'll be interesting to see what the flight time's going to be with this. You can see we're at 3.64 volts and we've been flying for 3 minutes 50, so that's not bad at all. I'm not going to show you this full flight. Let's jump to the end and let's see what we finish on. So we actually end up just over 6 minutes 30 and down to 3.4 volts, and that's great. So that's carrying the Osmo Nano, no problem at all. For the last test flight, I'm going to be at the local bike park. I always have my drone in my bag, and I was passing here, I saw one lad on his own, so I pulled in and said, look, can I just fly around you? Now I only had 1.5 batteries, so there was no practice, I just had to go for it. So I'll show you a little bit of raw footage coming in nice and high, chasing him, and then I'll show you the final clips that I put together for this lad. And just to confirm, we're using the O4 Pro no action camera on this one. Obviously you can see you need to be quite nippy, and we're hovering between 35 and 45% battery, so there's loads of power left in this. So I just had to do a couple of little runs here and there, land the drone, let him have a rest, and then get back up again. So you'll see I started this battery on 3.8. So yeah, just chasing him round, trying to stay low and follow him as well. It's important when you're chasing someone to try and keep them in the middle of the shot, and filming in 4x3, that enables us to take portrait and landscape out of that. So I could deliver both for social media for him. So I actually managed to get about 4 or 5 little runs, and you can see on this one, following him nice and low, and I actually managed to clip a post on this one. So we'll have to get rid of that in the final edit. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, bang. So what I'm going to do now is let's show you the edit that I came up with, that I sent to the lad, and let me know what you think. Right, so there we have it. You've seen a few different flights now. We've had a bit of a whip around the park, a little bit of fast flying, things like that, and showing that you can slow it down when you need to as well, which is good. Obviously, the bike park, which I love going there, chasing some bikers, and I only had 1.5 batteries when I went, so I didn't have long to practice or anything. I'm quite happy with the footage we got from there. It worked quite well. But overall, I've really been impressed with it. I like the idea of the 3D printed canopy. This has worked out really, really well. It's all soft mounted, so you've got no issues with jello or wobble. Everything looked good in the goggles. I have had some bumps and crashes, absolutely no real issues with the drone. I've just bent an antenna, that's not a problem. I've broke a prop here, and I've just got a dink on here from a hard landing. Now, if to be critical in any way, it would be nice to have a little bit of TPU on the bottom, just for those hard crashes, because when you're landing, you're going to be landing on these screws every time, which isn't ideal. So I would like to see a little bit of a 3D print, or on the corners, some little feet just to protect it. The only other issue I had, I can't really fault the drone. I don't know why it happened, whether it happened in the crash, but I did bust a capacitor. So I heard a bit of a tss and saw a bit of smoke, and the leads had come off the capacitor and they were touching. So the capacitor was knackered. I've put a new one on there. I've soldered it on, no issues at all. And I've put a bit of a cable tie to keep it in place. So I don't know why that happened. Probably my fault from a crash, but just thought I'd mention that just to be transparent, that I've put a new capacitor on there and I've not had any issues since. So all in all, I can say, yeah, I do recommend this. I think it flies really well. Nice powerful motors. So this is a little bit more agile than some of my other drones of a similar size. So if you need something flying a little bit faster, a little bit whippy, then this is really, really good choice. I'll leave all the links below. They're not affiliated. I think you can buy it all together or as a frame, but again, I'll leave those options. But yeah, I really do recommend this. I think it's a cracking little drone. So thanks to everyone who reached out and said, give it a try. You were definitely right. So obviously I'm getting a nice collection of whoops up here now. I've got quite a few. If you'd like to see a comparison between any of the drones I've got, do let me know. We've got things like the Darkstar, the Pavo, we've got the Cinelog 30, the Cinebot 30, the Cinelog 25 V2, we've got loads. So if you want to see any comparisons, do let me know. But I think this kind of sits on its own as a little fast Cinewhoop. Really, really do recommend it. So thanks for watching. Please do consider subscribing. It means a lot. We're obviously trying to grow the channel. All the people who are watching this video, if you just drop a subscribe now, we'll get to our 1,000, no problem at all. But if you enjoyed it, drop a like, drop a comment below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.